sir. DJ Fat B, it's one of them. Ooh-wee. Clubhouse. This is 10-year anniversary. Shout out to the team. Clubhouse Live Podcast. Clubhouse. This the intro. R&B. Let's go. Clubhouse. Straight off the wire. Like the feds got me tapped, I'm hitting plays. Throw me the ball, I run it back, check out the numbers. Bitch, I'm running up the board, all these trophies in the room like I'm giving out awards. I'm a beast. Yeah, I'm a dog. Before I learned to walk, I had to learn how to crawl. They can't handle the time, so they working with the law. They hate to see me up, but they love to see me fall. I ain't going nowhere, nigga. Clubhouse. Being humble. I'm trying to rumble in the jungle. When they are up in this bitch, all the talking turn to mumbles. Went to school to learn about how to be the case. You niggas pussy. It's written all over your face. If it ain't facts, then I ain't speaking it. I lowered the bars, niggas still ain't reaching it. Break her heart, now she out here preaching. But fucking with a dog come with fleas and leeches. Get out. Clubhouse. Let's have some fun with it. Clubhouse. Shut down the club. We brought that bitch to the house, and it's only members only, so we kicking niggas out. Whole party VIP, all bitches on the couch. They was sleeping on the movement, now they caught up in a drought. It's lights out, like you ain't paying shit. You made your bed, it ain't my fault, you gotta lay in it. Police kill my cousin, catch that bug, and then we spraying shit. R.P. to Kanan in his name, you better not playing it. Nah. Clubhouse. I'm going hard, like a big bag of that crack, and I get money. Yeah, I'm running up these stacks and I got flavors. And bitches soaking this, they dripping in this sauce every day, so they notice it. My haters salty, whole lot of sodium. They get jealous every time I'm sitting up at the podium. They was doubting, tried to tell them pussies, now I'm showing them. Seen a couple ops up in the crowd and started booing them. Let's go. Clubhouse. It's fun. I'm a media man now, you know, like, this the intro though, like, what's up, Giselle? What's up, Sunshine? What's up, Twan? What's up, Postway? What's up, Ron B? What's up, G? What's up, Elite? What y'all doing? I thought niggas was rappers. I'm just having fun. Let's go. We taking shit over, man. Make sure you get with me. Clubhouse Live Podcast. The loudest podcast on the planet.
Yo. All right, this is the Clubhouse Live, the loudest podcast on the planet. Where we do shit we never planned it. And we in here with the team. You know, we got Sunshine. We got Denzel. DJ Fat B is out right now. He a little ill, man. So, you know, prayers up for him. Hopefully everything all right.
Yeah, for sure.
Today we getting right in it. It's the post-election talk, man. We got some of Dayton's own up-and-coming they already legends in so many ways, but, man, they putting in a lot of work in the community, so we decided to have a talk with Jared, Grandy, and Will Smith, so that way we can, you know what I'm saying, talk about these post-election results, and also talk about our own local elections and the directions that we need to go. Ooh. Yeah, you gotta mute that.
I was trying.
So, welcome to the show, fellas.
Make some noise.
Hey!
You know, I've been trying to get on the show, man.
Yeah, man.
It's over.
Hey, listen, we had to make sure it was all the way right when we brought real people like y'all on the show, man. We couldn't come mediocre.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, man. I'm glad to do it. What's good, brother? What's good? Denzel, what's good, bro? I told you I like complaining sometimes.
Hey, we all on the side of justice today.
Hey, look at Will, man. Will is back there real patriotic, man. He feeling good. You can see he got the backdrop going on.
That's right.
For sure.
Hey, though, so first off, man, the 2020 election it was like, man, I don't know, for a while it seemed like a circus all the way probably down to the wire. We got a president in there right now that's probably not going to accept his fate, you know what I'm saying, easily. So I want to ask y'all out the gate, like, how did y'all feel about the process of the 2020 election and things like that?
Go ahead, Will. I mean, I thought it was going to be up in the air. I thought it really depended on who got their people out.
Right.
And shout out to some of the organizers, really. I don't think enough people really give attention to the organizers that really do the work out there. When I say, like, do the work, I know people look at candidates and stuff. We all stop calling me. We all stop texting me. We all stop, that's the black people out. And so I think And if people was looking, a lot of this stuff was out there. Like, it was articles in October telling you that Pennsylvania's results weren't going to be in for days. You know, because that was political wrangling where they wanted to not have those votes get counted early. Yeah. If you look at different places, wherever you get is different buckets of votes. You know, you might look at, but it depends on the county they're in. Or somebody might be up there in the county depending on what precincts is in. So I mean, once Trump didn't have a big enough lead in some of those states, and you realized they were going to go to the mail-ins, I knew it was over. I knew it was over right there, like, you know. And then even if you look at like our state went but the work that organizers put in stopped him from being able to do some of the work in Pennsylvania. It stopped him from being able to do some of the stuff he would have done in Michigan and Wisconsin. And so, like, all of this all worked together. You know, I worked at with National Super PACs before, so I see how it all aligns. Like, you know, you might have people down in Texas that's like, we know our state gonna go red, but let's put some pressure on in these counties. So then they got to use some of their resources here, and now we can move some things. So it's all about how we can leverage our resources. And people did a hell of a job. Like, the number of people that got out and voted in the pandemic, that was crazy. Like,
record numbers.
Record numbers. Man. So shout out to yourself if you got out there and took the chance to vote. If you mailed in a vote, you know what I'm saying? Absentee votes, like he said, man, made a big difference in this election. So what about you, Jerry? How you feeling?
Yeah, I echo that sentiment, man. Shout out to all the organizers, the phone bankers, people knocking doors. All of that was important. Y'all saved our democracy. Shout out to Stacey Abrams down in Georgia.
Yes.
For sure.
Flip Georgia, bro. It hasn't happened since 92. That's huge. That's one of those states that Republicans think they could just count on. Michigan came close to being flipped. Arizona, Nevada. Man, these organizers did their thing this election, and I'm super duper proud. But I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I was super nervous. You know, I drove to D.C. Back in August, and to get to D.C., you got to drive through Pennsylvania, Virginia, West Virginia. Okay. And I seen Trump signs everywhere, bro. Like, everywhere, hanging off porches, flying on trucks. You know, I seen Confederate flags hanging on porches. The energy for Trump was just, like, crazy. And I didn't think we was going to be able to match it. You know what I mean? Even here in Ohio, I don't know if y'all drove on I-70 or 675 recently.
Yes.
Election, there was crazy Trump parades, man, like flags flying high with the thin blue line joint and a Confederate flag on those trucks. So I'm like, yo, Trump got a lot of energy around him, and I knew a lot of people supported him. And let's not lose fact of the sight that he still got 47% of the vote. This man, you know, over 230,000 people died from coronavirus. You know, income inequality is crazy. Healthcare, we're struggling with that. You know, racism, xenophobia, homophobia, all of those issues he highlighted. And frankly, white people was like,
they don't care.
Me, you know what I mean?
Right.
Let me vote for another 4 years of that. And so we can't lose sight or ignore the fact that you know, that spirit, that energy is still with us and among us. And right here in Ohio, I got to shout out black voters here.
Yes.
The whole day, Tuesday at St. Luke, it was droves of us, young, old, black, white, disabled, healthy, you know, people on crutches and wheelchairs coming in there, you know, to show their support for the Democratic ticket. And because of that, we flipped the county blue. And I'm proud of us. We couldn't get the whole state, but Montgomery County did what it was supposed to do. The city of Dayton did what it was supposed to do. Right. And we did our part in saving this democracy. So, bro, I'm feeling super proud of black people right now. Feeling super proud of America generally, but especially us.
Yeah, man, that's dope. You got what you got to say, Denzel?
What I was gonna say? Part of that though was like, and it's weird. Like when we think about it, a lot of Trump's voters, they don't care about a lot of the same issues. Even when we come down to, you know, immigration, when we talk about racism, when we talk about the division that's been sown out there, you know, you take somebody that's in Montana. Me saying that Trump is racist don't bother them because it's nothing in their life that they bother about. Right. Or even if you take somebody that's in Ohio, out in the suburbs and they don't got to go through what we go through, it don't bother them. And so it's almost like out of sight, out of mind. And I mean, what's scary is that our people, us, we are like that to a certain extent.
Yeah.
I mean, we really are. Like, you look at what happens in other places. If it don't affect you right then, it don't hit. Like, look at coronavirus right now. Unless you got somebody that's in your close proximity, or somebody you know, or you actually care, people still going out. You know, you see on Facebook, you see people at the club, you see people, or somebody you know, you see people in shows, you see people, somebody you know, or you out having a good old time. Like that took place yesterday, and when Notre Dame beat Clemson in overtime, they rushed the field. No mask, nobody had no mask, and that's how I look at voting almost. Like, if it don't really affect me, that's how people are. They're like, if it don't, and that's why we gotta organize more. Because if it don't affect folks, they're like, man, who cares? And they're like, because that's what they'll go to is like, you know, I don't see that. You can tell me he racist. Hey, oh well. And then on top of that, he hit with a demographic of that, you know, lesbian, a lot of black folk, a lot of minorities, period. And this is a historic thing. We've always had the fights in between our own people on who wants to get access to power. And that's why coming up, you had blacks that would pass if they was light enough. You had your overseers on plantations. You had a guy like Samuel Jackson and Django. Like, you got those people that's like, hell, if I can get close enough to power, I throw my people under the bus.
Yeah.
Or you look at the people that say, damn, Trump did everything I would have done. Like, he looked at that, somebody looked at that and be like, damn, like, that's like Ant, if you was playing football, Ant, and your coach told you, Ant, you trash. And you're like, all right, bro. And then you come back and your daddy become a football coach, fire that coach, hire your uncles and brothers to be coaches even though they never played, and let you be the starting quarterback even though you ain't never played. That's what people are like, damn, that's power. That's real power.
Yeah.
To be able to put all my people on. And he say what he want, he do what he want. Like, there's a certain element inside of that get people. And if they're not the type that's gonna be like, oh, I don't care about the racism, I don't care about that because we gotta look out for me. That's what hits. Like, he played that map, and I think the thing that backed up and hit him hard, these folk out here, like right now, Chris, we just came through a caravan with some people, you know, out with Biden flags riding. Man, these folk came pulled down and Confederate flag trucks, like whole truck with a Confederate flag. This dude had a flag that was rainbow with Donald Trump's face on it. Rainbow the gun with Donald Trump's face, like he like a god to them. And those are the people that push some people over the edge, like, oh hell, I'm gonna vote just so this dude can't even be happy. I'm going to vote against this person.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that's what really made it really close is because people wasn't voting for, a lot of them didn't vote for Biden. They voted to get rid of Trump.
Yeah.
And that's really what it was for a lot of people.
I agree with that.
And moving forward, we gotta figure out how do we have people like voting. I'm voting for Kamala. I'm voting for change. I'm voting for this issue.
Right.
And that's the difference too. So I mean, it was a whole lot if you really break down this.
Breaking up a little bit.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Do you think until Trump is gone out of office that he's going to be one of our biggest threats until he is gone?
Absolutely. And even when he leaves, don't sleep on him. You know what I mean? He still has Twitter. He still has YouTube. He still has Fox News. Man, the dude can buy his own cable news channel.
He still got 70 million people that voted for him also.
Correct. And you see the energy that they have, right? Like you just said, they pulling up in trucks with his face on Rambo's body. I mean, what are they trying to signify? What are they trying to say? You know what I mean? Flying a Confederate flag next to his flag. What are they trying to say?
Right.
You know, you still have the people who, you know, try to kidnap the governor in Michigan.
Yeah.
There was a plot here.
That was crazy.
To do it in Ohio.
Right, with the wine.
These crazy dudes are still out here. They ain't went nowhere.
Yeah.
And
they
Trump
just
still has access to
They just stood back and stood by.
Right.
Stood back and stood down.
But that's what was crazy to me about just following the election and looking at the map when it was all like really winding down, and you could see. I was just telling them, like, you could see in most major metropolitan areas, it was blue. You feel me? And that was where most of that support came from. A lot of I wouldn't say necessarily urban areas, but the big metropolitan cities. But all of the rest, like you look at Ohio's map, we got those big city areas that was blue. All of the rest of the map was red. And that's a lot of America. Right. Except for places that are like heavily populated by Hispanics down like New Mexico and pretty much all of America.
It was crazy that they were so
big cities
for Trump, though.
For Trump,
and then
that's what I
the
didn't
rest
understand.
But it's really not surprising because he was elected president.
It talks about how divided this country is. I mean, and how much, to be frank, a lot of white people just don't want to live next to black people. Springboro exists for a reason. It exists because I don't want to be around Negro in Ohio, right? And that's not to suggest that everybody who lives in Centerville or Springboro is racist or has malicious intent. It's just to point out the fact that our country is still very much segregated in that way, right? You have to think of the civil rights movement as the thing that came and went, and after Brown v. Board of Education came down, our country was healed. That's just simply not the truth. Look at Dayton Public Schools. Look at the city of Dayton. It once was an integrated schools. Colonel White was integrated, Rolfe was integrated, Fairview was integrated. But as black people start to trickle in, white people begin to trickle out. And what we've seen in this election is the result of that, right? Like as these inner cities became blacker and blacker and being filled with more people of color, the white population had moved out further to the suburbs, and they voted in their interest. They figured that Trump was represented them in their interest, and they voted in their interest. But the other thing it says is the most racist people, the most xenophobic people are the people who don't know people of color, right? Like if you get to know us, you know that it ain't no big deal, bro. Like that stuff that you see in the media, those stories that you read about us, the stuff you hear from your uncle is not true.
Right.
And we deserve adequate representation. We deserve civil rights. We deserve economic rights. We deserve a good education. And when you meet us and understand that.
Damn, he was saying something good too.
Then you start to vote, not only your interest, but America's interest.
Yeah,
right.
And that's when you get in.
If you look at that map,
go ahead.
And that's like that all over. Like you look at Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, it was on the east side is Philadelphia, on the west side is Pittsburgh, and above there was Erie. And everything else went red. It was just that those population centers are so big. And so, like, even when you looked at a map of Ohio, the game plan to move forward, like when we talk about our governor and senator races and our congressional races here, it's just that we got to get more, like, that's all they did. And it's been done. It's been like that for years. Like, so what you need is you just need more people in Dayton to vote. You need more people in Columbus to vote. You need more people in Cleveland to vote. And I think sometimes we look at those maps and we don't see that that's what it really is.
You know what? I just think though, like, that's what we need to get into. Like, how do we convince? Because over the time of this election, we done seen so many people arguing back and forth on why they shouldn't vote, why don't they vote. It's like everybody got so many excuses on why they don't want to participate in the process. And then also I did listen to a person that says sometimes that the people that they listening to on Facebook don't give them a better reason to vote. They just feel like somebody is like coming down on them or not really educating them anymore about why.
This is something that all of us deal with though, is because as a people, as a community, we have and and ignorance of what real power feels like. So it's hard to tell somebody that you going in to participate in this democratic process to empower yourself and your community and your people if they never seen results of that before, if they've never seen what that can bring about.
Or what if they ignorant to some of the results that we have received from the processes that go through?
And that comes from overall ignorance of the process and the political system.
Because I'm tired of hearing my vote doesn't count. My vote doesn't count.
What you put on is kind of like this. If I'm upset and trying to watch grass grow, I will grass grow. Now for a month, I'm like, keep it long. And what our people, we go through so much every day that trying to look for progress is like sitting there watching and seeing if your hair growing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's hard for us to see it. And so, like, we look at it and then we don't build on it. So you look at history, we done had wins, but then we don't protect our wins. You feel me? Or something like that. Like, we had so much to happen from the civil rights era, but then it got in there, you get back in there, you feel me? And then knocked us way back again. Or you get in there and somebody win, or then we start to build power in the city, and then they started letting people move to the suburbs. So the people who had a little money in the city, they moved to the suburbs, and that's when they get us. Cause that's like if 5 of us move and we go get nice houses in Beaver Creek, it's cool because it's good for us, and our kids get the benefit from being in school, and you know, we get to be out there and have good shopping and restaurants, but it's nothing we can vote for.
Right.
Nope.
Right, you're getting drowned out.
There, I can't pick my congressman out there. You're never gonna have that. You're never gonna have your own congressman in those places, and then they do gerrymandering like that. The game is made to make people feel like they can never get better. And once you feel like you can never get better, it's bad.
And that's
why Trump folks can get moved, because they can get solidified around one thing sometimes. Like right now, they all solidified around the fact that they feel they got cheated. They solidified around the fact that they don't like immigrants. They can solidify around the fact that they've been told that if Biden win, they was going to pay more taxes, even though they make $6.50 an hour, and then they got $4.50. So they start thinking around those things. They get messed up, man. Like, you realize too much things about politics. Like, and that's why I like what you be talking, Denzel, because sometimes, man, I'll be like, man, F what November happens. What we gonna do in the neighborhood in February?
Right.
Like, who gonna talk to this kid over here? And then we tell him, you know, wait for November, we can change this. That's like telling a kid who need a coat in September. Wait till Christmas, I'll give you a coat.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
That ain't gonna help me when I need my coat right now. I feel free.
Right.
So I mean, that's why we gotta come together and organize and build and just do for self in between all these things. And the more you do for self, the more people start realizing, like, damn, they got power. So now we don't have to listen to what they say, because if we don't do what they say, they already don't really need us. We need them. And that's what happened in some of these cities, and I'm praying that they move on. Like, Biden flat out said it, like, yo, we got black voters, saved us. All right, there, bro, what you got for it?
He said he's gonna have our back.
He said he had our back.
Gonna have our back.
See.
So like you said, it's up to us to like make sure that we hold them accountable, hold the people accountable that you put your vote in for. That's why I was always saying.
We gotta hold
it. Way we all work together to do this. We all gotta stick together to do this.
Right, we gotta hold the community accountable. We gotta hold the community accountable. We all work
together. Let's stand together.
That's when they come on the education thing. We can't wait for 4 years and wait till the next level. Like he said, we got to start small in our areas. That's going to get us to our state levels, and we put the people in the position that we need that's going to have them conversations at the highest level, because if we don't, we're going to always be up against an upward battle, because we're not understanding the process from the bottom of the totem pole first. We starting trying to just worry about the president, and like we said, we don't even know who run our cities. You know, and that's the problem. We don't know who run our local areas.
Right.
To touch on what you were saying about the congressional districts, I seen that we, even though all of those metropolitan areas and the surrounding counties went blue, a lot of them lost the congressional districts. Like Mike Turner got reelected. It's only 4 Democratic districts.
Montgomery County just blew. The rest of her district went red.
Mm-hmm.
So when they did that, that got drawn up like that. That district used to be
Gerrymander.
It was mostly Montgomery County. What happened was Tony Hall was our congressman in that district. Tony Hall, he's from Dayton. His daddy used to be a mayor. His daddy was the mayor back when they had the riots here. His daddy was a Republican. Tony ended up being a Democrat. Tony took a job, a White House with the D.C. Went over, was like the ambassador for food and everything. And when that happened, when Mike Turner left out when he lost from being the mayor, he left, and they changed that whole congressional district, and they stretched it out. Two other counties.
Yeah,
So,
like this.
While we was voting for Desiree here in Dayton, they was voting for Mike Turner out in Washington Courthouse.
yeah.
It's like
I learned that it's changed.
Yeah, because when I heard it, I was
the four congressional districts that the Democrats won in Ohio are the smallest congressional districts out of the 16 in the state.
And they all drawn up in a way to put like, hey, all y'all black, because it used to be we had a couple of them. Because it used to be it was part West Dayton and then part like North Dayton, and another one was part Trotwood, part Dayton. The hell with that. Make all of Dayton pretty much, and some of Trotwood were black folks. That's their district. So we give y'all that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't it like the 12th district or something like that?
In Columbus, they got one. Cleveland, you got that one. Down by Cincinnati, you get that one. And they cut other pieces out of it. Like these, they look like puzzle pieces almost.
Right. Yeah.
They look like puzzle pieces in all kind of weird shapes because they get to draw it up. Like you get to draw up your map. So what you do is you map out with your voters to say, all right, this is my district because I know I can't lose if it's my people.
What happened to when President Obama and Eric Holder supposed to be redrawn districts?
You bring up a good point. Y'all bring up a much larger point. When the Republicans get in power, they use it. You know, they cut the districts up. Trump appointed 3 Supreme Court justices. He appointed a Supreme Court justice a week before the election, dog.
Yeah, that was crazy.
After criticizing Obama.
And they wouldn't let Obama 8 months before his reelection.
People in power, when we put Joe Biden to come out here in power, man, we got to demand. We need y'all to use that power in our favor. Like, I don't need that, like, because what happens is, Harold Washington finally won the election, right? It was this guy named, they call him the boss. I can't think of his name right now. But he ran the city for years. He ran the city of Chicago for years, and he ran it like a mob boss. That's why they call him the boss. And so when we finally put a black mayor in there, he was like, I'm going to be fair and equitable, right? So while this guy before him put all Irish people as the police force and made sure other people got the congressional seats and the ward, the commission seats and all of that stuff, Harold Washington got in there and said, I wanted to be fair. And that fairness didn't get us anywhere, right? So I'm not saying that Democrats need to go in there and be corrupt. That's absolutely not what I'm saying. But I am saying that Democrats need to go in there and take advantage of the power that they have.
Be assertive.
To actually do something for the people. And, not to miss y'all point, because we all also got to organize and do for ourselves. But part of that organizing and do it for ourselves is holding them accountable and making sure they use the power that they have on how they have.
Now it's not the era of passive politics for anybody.
Yeah, but the thing is, we also got to realize it's hard when you're at that level and you black because you don't have no backup. It's like, when you be out back in the day, you be at the club and your whole flex was different when you out there with the whole people. You know what I mean? When you're there with the whole crew, you just feel different. I could be in there in a white tee and some dingy jeans and some Timbs, but if it's 30 of us, I'm cool because nothing about to pop off.
Right.
If I'm somewhere else, I'm out of town you be out of town, your head on a swivel. You gotta be like, I look like a sucker, let me not look too. Somebody try to come in my pocket. And that's how you get in there because, if Obama did any of the things Trump did, Obama wouldn't have made it through.
Right.
Yeah,
so
that's a fact.
I'm
glad somebody said that.
The other day, Joe Biden was like, I'm going to be a president for the people who didn't vote for me and the ones who voted
exactly.
for me. But Trump said,
man, I am the president for the people who rock with me.
Yeah.
Everybody else can get out.
Yeah.
Right.
We about to eat, all right? And so we get left out sometimes because everybody, we all at the party. Like, you look at the party, it's like, if we showed up to the party, it's you got black folk wanting stuff, then you got poor blacks, you got middle class blacks. It's like, it ain't my fault that they poor. You got blacks with a couple of dollars. It's like, hey, oh well, they better get themselves together. You got white folks, you got different folks from Hispanic folks, you got LGBTQ folks. Everybody trying to get their piece, and they're like, and what they'll do is they'll play us against each other. And they'll be like, oh man, you see they did that? You see the Russians? They got that little center over there. Oh man, what they gonna do about this? What they gonna do over here?
Right.
And we get to this whole thing where we're like, all right, guys, let's all play fair. Let's play fair, and we don't get what we need because we don't look out for self when we get in there sometimes.
Yeah.
So, do you think?
You gotta be greedy to look out for self. Like, I mean, you can look out for everything. We got to look out for the greater good and realize the greater good includes us.
Right.
Yeah, it definitely does.
So do you think Joe Biden, since we know Trump is not going to give his concession speech, you already know, he's not speaking to nobody, he's trying to do these lawsuits. Do you think Joe Biden should reach out to Mitch McConnell and try to sit down and try to figure all this out so we can have some type of peace or somewhere to start with?
Absolutely. Mitch McConnell and all the other Republican leaders. I mean, at this point, Joe Biden just needs to start governing. I mean, Trump has 80-something days left in his term. Well, let's not forget that. Let's be on our toes during these next 80 days. But Joe Biden, that's Joe Biden's strength. That's why the DNC picked him. That's why Jim Clyburn came in and said, we know Joe knows us. Because Joe Biden's historical strength is be able to reach across the aisle and make stuff happen, right? He gets a lot of flack for the crime bill, but the Democrats wanted the crime bill just as much as the Republicans wanted the crime bill.
Correct.
Joe Biden was instrumental in bringing those two parties together and passing some legislation. So Joe Biden needs to do what he has to do in order to kind of bring some calm and some normalcy to our government. Yeah. Our government right now is crazy, right? Like this is like Twilight Zone. This is an episode of
right.
I think that it's gonna be it's gonna be like a flip side. What?
He said what?
Good.
He said, hold on, wait.
It was freezing up.
For me, we freezing?
You're
Here
good.
we go.
Go ahead.
We good?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, I'm so grateful that they got in. But they're not going to do anything radical. They're not going to do anything significant without significant pressure from us. So, I want Joe to do his job, build those relationships, get back cool with the Republican Party. But we got to make sure that, he don't sell us down a river in order to try to make peace with.
Yeah. I just don't want them to be. I just don't want them to become the. Another historic figure. Oh, we got a black woman. We got a woman and a black woman as a president. Then let them rely on that. Or we got Joe who beat the Donald Trump, who we felt was the worst person in the world. We don't want them to rely on that. Like you said, Sam, that we make them put in real work.
I think it's an opportunity for the people to get more involved in politics since we have actual politicians back in office. For real. Like Jared was saying, politicians know these people as politicians. We need to get a better knowledge of the political system and of these people and their records and what they're known to do and how they're known to move so that we can watch their movements going forward so that we can hold them accountable.
I think he got to get in there and talk to those folks, but at the same time, in the back of my mind, if I'm Joe, when I walk in there, I'll be like, hold on, some of y'all the same folks that when we walked up in there in 2009, when we started up here, y'all was the same folks that said as soon as we get power, we ain't passing nothing he started doing.
Yeah.
But you still got to be political and play that whole, and I hate saying play the game, but it is playing the game, but it's also treating people like with the respect that the office entails.
Right.
That's one of those things that
he got a clean house.
Like if I know you don't like me, but we're in a professional setting,
you gonna hate it because I'm gonna be like, hey, how you doing, Denzel? Let's sit down. We got some things we got to talk about.
Right.
In your head, you're like, bro, this brother, no, I hate him.
Right.
You're like, no, because
We got a job to do.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what started happening with Trump. You started seeing people like John Kasich, like, nah, I'm cool with him. You started seeing people like Mitt Romney, like, I'm cool on him.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you look at Trump, he badmouthed John McCain, rest in peace.
Boy.
If you go back and look at John McCain's concession speech, John McCain shut down his own people. He was cool. He was like, nah. Even though we disagree, I see that this is a big moment for black folks. You know, I take
Exactly.
my loss. I took my
Right.
L. You know, Trump get out there and talk about John McCain, and you see what happened. He lost John McCain's home state. Like, so you gotta get out there and be like, look, this is what I want to do. But at the back of his mind, he also got to be like, look, we need to flip those Senate seats in Georgia. And you know, that's something that when we talk about how do we move this, it's people, we can all be here in Dayton, make phone calls to people in those districts in Georgia, trying to get them to go vote in January for those Senate seats. Because when we talk about building that cabinet up, you know, you need that Senate approval for your cabinet. And if Mitch McConnell get on his high horse and try to run them through the ringer on who they can appoint, that's the difference. You know, like Jared said, Trump was able to put in a Supreme Court justice before you could even read her back.
Right.
Ian appointed.
Right.
I ain't even know her full name.
And you know what? That's
Didn't know
one thing.
nothing about- we didn't know
But you know what? That's one thing about Trump that people did. Like you said, that's
Trump
one thing
made
about
deals
Trump that
and bargains.
he made deals and bargains, but the ones that they weren't going in his favor, he made executive decisions. He did. He was not afraid to just go in there
But the thing
and do
is-
certain stuff that, even though we didn't agree with it, but I'm like, that's the type of power that we always wanted Obama. Like you said, we don't need a passive, you know what I'm saying, president. Like if you know it's gonna make sense and they fighting you just because they want certain things added to certain bills, sometimes you got to go in there and make it happen. You know what I'm saying?
If they not gonna work with him,
Yeah.
he can't spend his whole 4 years trying to win them over.
Yeah, no, we can't have that.
But are they going to allow him to do what Trump did? Can he go in there and say, this is what we're going to do, and that's it?
It's
That's
an
all?
it's an
Or is it gonna be
executive
a
order.
fight?
It's
It's
an executive order.
That's what it's for.
I mean, they can fight it, but they.
That's the function executive order serve, right? They allow you to kind of circumvent the process. It's called the bicameralization process, where you go through the Congress and the Senate and then get it signed off. Executive orders, they only allow you to go so far. But I'm gonna throw this in for y'all. With Trump, with the conservatives having 6 justices in the Supreme Court, Biden can sign as many executive orders as he wants to, but once they're challenged by some conservative group anywhere, then they might be struck down by the court. That's
Correct.
That's how checks and balances work.
Right.
So the best thing we can do, to Will's point, is make sure that those senators in Georgia get elected, so that way, you know, he can pass laws in a legitimate way.
Yeah.
Because those executive orders are only going to go so far, especially with this Supreme Court we got now.
Yeah, because they got an edge, don't they? They got an edge on. That's why he put her in, right? To put
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
They want to get rid of the Roe versus
If
Wade.
if there's 2 senators running, if Georgia doesn't get those senators into the House, into the Senate, there's going to be a majority Senate, and Mitch McConnell is going to be the majority leader. So now the government is going to be controlled by a conservative Senate and a conservative court. That kind of renders Joe Biden mute a little bit. He can still do some stuff, but they
2-on-1.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so, what do y'all feel about like the pressure? Go ahead.
Trump gonna be putting pressure on them too.
Right.
Yeah. But what y'all feel about like the pressure that like on let's get on Kamala a little bit. Like, what do y'all hold her to? Like, I mean, because we gave her a hard time as a people because of her track record as a prosecutor, and you know what I'm saying. And a lot of black people didn't want to give her a chance at all, but I understand that a lot of black people got family members and friends that most likely done went through court systems and been prosecuted before. We usually on that end of the spectrum, so I've seen a lot of people just kind of wash her, out
Right.
because of her career choice. And I'm like, all right, now that we got her here, and I used to advocate like people could change, they mind state can change the way they feel about certain things. They can go through a system, a job, and you can learn that a system is built against your people and want to see it change and want to get in positions to change it. But I don't think a lot of people understood that. And I know we voted for him, but I know we gonna see a lot of people like hold her to a very high standard on every decision that she makes. You know what I'm saying? So how y'all feel about that, like with her and, you know, her winning this election?
First of all, as a father of black daughters, I'm glad that they'll be able to see that representation.
Yes.
Right? I know we argue whether or not she's black, and I get that. I mean, reasonable minds could disagree, but in the minds of white supremacists, she's black as hell. I mean,
yeah.
Right.
Let's
Man, she got a silk press.
Even if she was just even if she was just Indian, she ain't white.
She ain't white. She's the person of color, and she's the first woman, the first person of color as a vice president. So we got to acknowledge that. Regardless of how you feel about her, you got to acknowledge that she made history, and we got to give her props for making that history. But as far as her record goes, yeah, I'm with you. I was critical too. I mean, like the system, I was a criminal justice major at University of Cincinnati, and one thing I learned about it is the criminal justice system itself is kind of designed to mess with black people.
Yeah,
it just is, and she was a part of that system, and there's no way around that. You can backpedal all you want, you can try to explain all you want, but if you look through Kamala Harris's record. And then you look at her history of governing, what you will find is Kamala Harris is going to do whatever is politically expedient, right? She's going to do whatever is convenient and whatever the people want. So, for instance, in California, there was still a death penalty, right? And when she thought it was convenient to say, I'm against the death penalty, she did. But when she was in front of other crowds who were for the death penalty, he said, I'm going to enforce the law of the state, which is the death penalty, right? Y'all seen her on the Breakfast Club talking about, smoking weed. Come on now. You weren't fooling nobody. But she did that because she thought she had to pander to the audience that she was speaking to. So Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, for that matter, is subject to influence. It's, again, going back to our conversation, it's our job to put that pressure on them.
I can say that. I got good things to say though. I can say just because I did scrutinize and criticize and have her under the microscope, I seen a lot during this campaign. So I think that just to piggyback off of what you were saying, Jared, I think that her concerns or her investment in certain communities or demographics or on certain issues did change with her interest when it came to the point where she began to realize how big black people were going to be to this election. A lot of her moves began to reflect a sense of mutual support between her and black people. Mm-hmm. So I can't say that it's not authentic because, like you were saying, I think that when she's put in that position, she moves expediently. She moves, excuse me,
expeditiously.
she moves.
Go ahead,
I think that if she hadn't been put in certain positions, she might not have had the knowledge or experience to change her views on certain things.
Right.
So it might have looked like pandering if we didn't look closely enough.
So do you think that the young lady, the black young lady who was their campaign manager, who they showed her picture today, do you think that she helped her to understand? Or do you think, like how you said, was it a pandering thing?
Of course, you get a whole team. Your team going to show you the way. You know what I'm saying? They supposed to if you get the right people around you.
I mean, even though she graduated from, Howard?
Yeah, and I think that her wearing the sweaters and doing the verses and all that stuff, some people seen that as trying to do too much. But people were complaining before. Myself personally, was complaining that she wasn't doing enough before. So it's like you can't ask for one thing and then when you get it, you say this ain't.
You got to give her the chance.
What'd you say, Will?
Everybody, and I think Kamala is a test case on the fact that everybody wants some kind of pandering, even if they say they don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we want. It's almost like we want people to do things if we want them to, or we give people a pat. Like, there's some stuff that Obama did that if we didn't like somebody, we'd be like, man, if you don't get your corny ass on.
Yeah,
like,
true.
It was cool. Like, oh man, look at Obama. He had the game with a brew. That's my man. Like, and so we got to understand, like, the black community is so widespread. Like, it's people right now that look at Kamala and be like, man, she's corny. But it's a whole group of black folk that act just like her.
Yep.
Yes.
It's a whole other segment of black folk that go, what if people shouldn't have been doing wrong?
Exactly.
We have to come to a reckoning with our people to understand, like, and that's why it was so divisive, is because her life spoke to our reality. So you know what I mean? Like, if you black, like me, I've never done nothing too crazy where I've been locked up. Like, locked up. You know how in college they done picked me up for some dumb because we was in college. But that don't mean I don't know people on all sides. I got family that's police. I got family that's in jail. I got family that do right. I got family that do wrong. And so when it hits family, we always lean on the side of family. So we go, oh man, you know, because it reflects. So we go, oh man, she locked somebody up. But we never break apart the whole system and go, okay, well, was that cop already looking for that person? Then did poverty already have that person in that position to commit that crime? Did the gentrification laws come and have them doing these kind of things? We don't look at the whole thing. She was just a cog in a machine.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
She's
sir.
a cog in a machine. That's like me hating the judge who sentenced me and not understanding that it was so many other levels that got me in front of that judge. Right. And so, if other people had to go, well, she was just doing her job. So I think with all of that, and let's not forget that she's a black woman. So I mean, a lot of that is why we also look at that. We don't look at the judicial records of old white folks.
Nope.
We don't care. We expect old white folks to lock us up. So when we saw her, we didn't expect to say, oh man, she sent somebody to jail. Because that's not what people expected of a black female. And so then she had to go through the scrutiny of being a black female, which is another level of its own, and we can be here all day talking about that. So I think what we do is we got to support her and also want from her. So I think, and that's a hard kind of way to navigate that. It's hard to do it, because like I say, on the Democratic side of things, it's not just one lane. You got centrists, you got people that are like moderate, you got people that are super liberal, you got people that are like this, I don't really care about this. You got some people that's only Democrats because they want to smoke weed and they want to see it legal.
Right.
And so you got people that's like, and when it's not your reason, liberal folk are outspoken. Like, it took a while for Bernie supporters to even.
Yeah.
And so we just got to understand, we got to help her because, I mean, if you're be honest, come 2024, it might be her running for president. If she's president before, he ain't God willing to bad happen to Biden. I'm like, you don't know Biden.
Oldest president of all time.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if something was to happen and Joe Biden got to step down, she's going to be the one running for president. So we got to be able to support her and work from her. And we got to hold her to it. But I think holding her to it means working with her. Like, Like we can't kill people for working with folks. Like, we killed Ice Cube.
Yeah.
But Ice Cube's problem was he didn't read the room. Ice Cube just didn't read the room. That's it. He didn't do nothing wrong. We gotta
he did something wrong. He was trying to do right. He did something wrong. Like
he did something wrong because he didn't read the room. He didn't walk in there and realize, man, they about to use me, bro.
Yeah.
And they did.
Like, look, you talking about like Lil Pimp?
Lil Pimp.
Like Lil Pimp.
Like Eric Trump or Don Jr. was photoshopping pictures of him and 50 Cent.
Yeah, like
right.
But you know what? That's why when we get to it though, when we get to that, man, we realize like in the elections, man, they'll do whatever. People do whatever to be seen. People do whatever to be associated with certain groups. And like you said, at the end of the day, it just come down to making sure that these people really, it's okay for us as black voters to demand something out of the people we vote for. And we got to reiterate that with each other, because when we talk about the results we don't see, it's because we don't actually never think we're going to get anything anyway. Mm-hmm. So we don't always go in there and ask for nothing. We just a vote. Like, black women vote a lot. And I just see, like, when I talk to my mom, so I ain't trying to put her back, but her reasons for voting ain't really updated. Her reasons for voting still stuck back in, the times that it's like no policies. She don't really know anything about that. She's just like, I'm voting for him because this is this. And it's like, they trying to take our civil rights.
Right.
And that's a lot of quote. But the flip of that is, if we can't do nothing about our demand, you feel me?
Yeah.
Like I can't. That's like I can't make my neighbor cut his grass.
Right.
I can't make my neighbor wash his car. It's his car. Now, if I owned his car and I was letting him use it, if I owned that car and I'm letting him use it, and I go, hey man, come on, go wash that car, man. And now I got something I can say, go wash that car, or I'm gonna take it back from you.
Right.
You have to have power to make demands, and that's why too many times we don't have like the best thing that came out of the whole ICU situation to me was we don't have the power, and we also don't have the connection. If you read that contract for Black America, the first thing it said was it's to start a dialogue and discussion. So the first thing we should have had was a dialogue and discussion. Then secondly, if you look at it, half those things on there can't be done at the presidential level. And so if you was to send it out, of course, if I'm with Biden and Kamala, I'm going to be like, man, I'll get back to you after this election. Let's win this. And then partly it's because I can't do that anyway.
Right.
You can't come to me and say, we need culturally relevant learning in our schools. Well, what if you can't make Oakwood Black history?
Yeah.
Down to Oakwood School Board. So it's that connection. And then some of that stuff, and that's how he got played as far as people using it for the Democrat or the Republican side, is because some of the stuff that people ended up putting out there, like the Platinum Plan, you had in there create lynching laws as a federal hate crime work. So it's that thing for the national thing that black people already tried to do during Donald Trump's presidency and got knocked down in Congress. So it's like you got somebody out here saying, I'm trying to tell y'all need to do this. And other black organizers and lobbyists is like, bro, we trying to do that.
Yeah.
So it's like we all. You on mute, bro.
Yeah, unmute.
Will.
Unmute. You in mute. He talking.
Unmute, Will.
This is the show where we do shit and we never plan it. You was on mute, Will.
I want to make, though, to your point, Anthony, about how we vote a lot of the times. We just vote because they gave us the party line. They told us why we should along on whatever. Who are paying attention to stand in the gap and make sure that we fight in their interest. You know what I mean? I feel blessed to be interested in this stuff. I feel blessed to have the intellect that I have. So I want to use my gifts to fight on behalf of my mother and my auntie and my brother and my cousin. And so, regardless of why they vote or how they vote, we got to be the advocates. We got to stand in the gap and we got to fight as hard as we can for them. But the second point I wanted to make to Kamala, we can't make the same mistake we made with Obama, right? Like, there are people critical of Obama. It's Cornel West, Eddie Clyde, Travis Smith.
Denzel.
Obama, some of them didn't. But because he was our first black president, we was like, no, don't say anything. Let it ride. And because we didn't hold him accountable, we didn't get as much as we wanted. So while we got to support our sister in the vice presidency seat, and we got to protect her, we got to protect her for our own interests, right? So we and our daughters can someday be in that position.
Yep.
Got to hold her accountable.
Can't be afraid to criticize. James Baldwin said, I criticize criticize my country because I love my country. Because I love my country, I have a duty to criticize.
Yeah, because if we leave her out here to just do stuff or not do anything, then we leave her open for criticism when her term is done or when she try to run for president in 2024. If we don't hold her accountable and push her to do the things that will get her elected, or if we allow her to be stagnant or complacent in just being the vice president, the first woman, the first black woman vice president, then she gets no work done, then that leaves her open to far more scrutiny than we probably could have given her during this term.
And we know they gonna hold her higher.
They gonna try to. Right. That's why she does need for us as her people, as her constituency, to protect her. But at the same time, that protection goes along with that accountability.
Right. So who do you guys see Biden and Harris bringing in to the White House? Like, do you think they're going to give Stacey Abrams a position, and who else do you think they might bring along with them?
I don't know. I could see Susan Rice being brought in.
Mm-hmm.
It depends. Honestly, I can see those moderate type folk being brought in.
Okay.
The more leftist, the more radical type folk, it's going to take them to win those Senate seats because they're not going to be able to get those. You get those Senate seats, and if it's a tie, Kamala gets to be the tiebreaker. So then you can say you wanted to bring in somebody from the Bernie campus, not Bernie himself, to be on the cabinet. Say you want to bring in some folks like that, you're going to need to have that. And that's the other part of, like, civic lessons that we got to show folks is that, like, it ain't like he can just walk in and be like, this who I want. Like, you have to be appointed. And so if I don't let you appoint it, then it's like, so I can see, like, a Susan Rice who was around when Obama was. I wonder if he would put his wife in as Secretary of Education. But I don't I think she wants to keep doing her
She
job.
said she still wanted to teach. Correct.
I want to see who his Secretary of Education pick is going to be, just because Betsy DeVos was so antagonistic to a lot of our public school folk. Like, you know, I saw teachers that was more hyped that she was leaving than Trump.
Right.
We get rid of her. That's what I want. And so I think you're really going to dig deep. I think with Stacey Abrams is going to be a conversation about what she wants. Because I think one of the things that we sometimes do is we think that we're giving somebody a good look by putting them in something where we want them at, and not asking them where do they want to be at, and two, what would be best for them to do.
Correct.
Yeah.
So would be like, hey, well, I think you should be a senator. I think you should be in the cabinet. I think you should do. Maybe, like, you don't know. Maybe she want to run for governor again. You know, they asked her to run for Senate. She didn't. And so I think that's going to be a conversation. And I think that would be the best, is to give her that conversation and let her choose her landing spot.
Correct.
Because she looked out, like, and she did hella work, like.
And she might continue to do more work at that level. Within that level. Yeah.
We got to look and learn from what she did. We look at Stacey Abrams and be like, oh, that's that girl that popped out and ran for governor. No, that's that girl who was in the State House for years. Also had a voter registration drive and education drive for years. Yeah. Like, we don't be seeing that part. So where that's how she was able to, at a drop of a dime, go get some people. And so, but I think it's going to be some middle of the road. I think it's going to be some white folks, some black folks. I think because we're going to want to have a coalition, like you said, that looks like America. But we got to bring somebody that's in there trying to kick the tables over and pop off and get something done, though. Or people going to look at him like, oh, bro, we could have just kept riding with what we had.
Yeah, I think the Democratic Party, even the way they attack early voting and stuff like that, it showed that they was trying to have a different outcome, they came at a different approach than they did even with the Hillary, campaign. They knew that they were going to have to put in a lot of work. So hopefully they keep that same energy, like you said, going into just actually putting in the work. Like, they don't got room to be relaxed right now, to be laxed at all, because they're going to be up against a wall anyway. So they're going to have no choice in my eyes,
I'm confident though, because, one thing that I feel like we can share this word because we know from the past 4 years that money can't buy political experience, and they haven't been here before. They've never been in this particular, you feel me, position, but they've been in these spaces before. I don't know. I don't know.
Let me go fix that.
You can. The party got to do more than anything is learn to speak to the voters, the disenfranchised, the disengaged, the disenchanted. That's what Trump had. That's what he was able to speak to people who felt ignored for years, right? Like, what people understand, a voting bloc that doesn't historically vote is poor white. We always talk about black people, right? Which we do need to show up to the polls, and which we did show up to the polls, and we did our thing. But this time, Trump and the Republican campaign was able to engage a bunch of poor whites, which is why the election was close. Not to suggest that only poor whites voted for Trump, but that was a whole new voting bloc that was historically left out that was included this time. The Democratic Party wants to have a chance in 2024 and a future moving ahead.
They can still hear us.
They can't.
There was a lot of black people who there.
Yeah, we can hear you.
We still hear you.
Tell them the camera just went dead. We can still hear y'all though.
There's a lot of black people who didn't want to engage in the system. There's a reason they didn't want to engage in the system. Because we was pointless. We be going through so much, we don't see any purpose to engage in the system. So it's incumbent upon us to figure out how to speak to them. You know what I mean? We can't bash them and say, well, why you're not voting? It's why haven't the people, the candidates in the system gave them a reason or any hope to vote? That's why Obama's campaign was so powerful. He ran on 2 words, hope and change. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. Like, you can't tell me any of his policy positions except maybe healthcare. But he ran on hope and change because that's something we needed. Trump ran on hate and rage and fear. Which is another powerful motivator. But nonetheless, he found something to motivate the people. The Democratic Party, if they want to succeed in 2024, have to find something to motivate the party and motivate the people. Because this time we had Trump to motivate the people. We voted against Trump and not necessarily for Biden Harris.
Exactly.
Next time around, you're not going to have a Trump.
Like, if you look at 2016, he won Ohio.
I'm gonna have to get that battery.
Michigan. Like when he got those, it was because, like, he came in there in those Rust Belt areas and was like, hey, y'all done lost these jobs, I'm going to bring back jobs. They like, oh, bet. Because he spoke to what they needed to hear.
Yeah. Y'all thirsty? I got water.
I got right. And then what happened, though? 4 years later, they're like, man, these jobs ain't come back up.
What happened to that water? You?
And so they came back and they voted in their interest of, I'm voting back if you guys to play me, dog. Like, you told me that you were going to bring me these jobs. You told me that the issue was these foreigners taking their job. Like, he is a master at that. Like, how do you get somebody to hate foreigners and they live somewhere in Idaho where it's 99% white? I got you hating somebody you don't even see.
Cause he studied business, all those big business models and
they get that common enemy, they gonna go.
Yeah,
it's like, you know, they like that whole rhetoric of, you know, draining the swamp. If you think about it, they stopped talking about that after he got in.
Yeah, immediately.
We gotta get rid of all these other politicians. We gotta act and in any other place, that's like me wanting to be a doctor and I go, we gotta get rid of these other surgeons. Like, you know, some of these folks actually know what they're doing because they do it. Now, I get it. Some people are just in there for lifelong benefits and just shaking and jiving. But, I mean, like, you got to have some people that know what's going on. You got to have some knowledge of policy. You got to have some knowledge of how to build relationships. And that's the party got to do moving forward is build real relationships. Like, and I put a post about that. Like, we tell people to go vote. But we don't talk to people outside of going to vote. Like, we don't talk to them enough. And
right, about the issue.
Yeah, that's
back and forth. Like, oh, man, you know, then it gets people, they feel offended. They like, oh, man, y'all out here voting ain't never done nothing to me. And then, you know, the person who do vote, you're like, well, you don't vote, and your life's still messed up, so well, what's up? Well, you might as well try to vote. Instead of saying, like, what do we want to see out of our vote? What do we want to see if we not voting? Like, how do we come together and move on?
Kill that dog.
People, we
No, I'm
guess.
not.
We don't really know the issues. We guess what we think people's issues are. And that's the part you got to do is get out here and really find out what people's issues are.
But yeah, all right. So then when we get into like, so locally,
Montgomery.
you said you're gonna
I said Montgomery County.
Montgomery County, like Dayton. You know what I'm saying? Like us as a county, what do you feel like the direction we need to go to? I mean, what direction do we need to go in to get more people involved into our local politics? Because you know both of you guys hold positions. You know what I'm saying? Jared did, and then Will, you still into you in the school district. You know what I'm saying? And I know that we need to have more hands-on, like people just being more hands-on in the processes and helping, you know what I'm saying, you guys, you know what I'm saying, push the narratives forward and be able to get results and being involved just in these systems. Because if we don't, then don't you feel like it'll still be like basically the same results when we get to our local elections? We won't have people participating enough to make local change.
Absolutely. I mean, politics is local. I mean, national elections are important. I don't like when people say local elections are more important than national elections, but they're equally as important. So we got to be equally as engaged in our local politics as we are in our national politics, right? We need to know who our county commissioners are. We need to know who our city commissioners are. We need to know who our city manager is. We need to know what role she plays. We need to know who our county prosecutor is. And we need to identify people. If you're not happy with those people, you have to identify people who you would run against them and who you think will fight in your interest and who you think you could build a relationship with, right? So Will made a very good point. Everything is about building relationships, especially politics, right? And on a local level, we have this opportunity to build the relationship, right? And if they're not open to building a relationship with us, then we can move them out the way. That's our power as a voter. So if you don't feel like, you know, I'm not afraid to name his name. So if you don't feel like Nan or Jeff or Chris or Gerald or Matt is building a relationship, those are the city commissioners. If y'all don't feel like y'all can have a relationship with them, then y'all need to put somebody in there y'all do feel like y'all can have a relationship with them, so y'all can influence them, right?
I think that
we can't walk into the White House. We can call down to City Hall and have an appointment with the mayor if, you know, they're amenable to it. I
think that it
build a relationship with you to do so. Same thing with the prosecutor's office. I remember when God bless the dead, Devin Javier got shot. I wrote a letter to the prosecutor. You know, I mean, that's my prosecutor. I elected him, or my people around me elected him. I live in Montgomery County, so he has to hear what I got to say, right? So I wrote that letter because that was the thing that I could do to ensure those boys got some semblance of justice, which we got to continue to pay attention to that case. But you know, it's a two-way street. We got to hold their feet to the fire, and they got to do what they need to do to build a relationship with us.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All day. I like that.
I think it's like 3-4 things on that. One, the first thing we got to do is the civic education.
Exactly.
And when I say that, understanding how things move. Like, you know, being on a school board, I done had people ask me stuff or even get mad at me about stuff that I have no say over. Like, I have no say over that. I don't vote on that. That's not in my wheelhouse. That's not something I do. I got people at the City Hall, they'll call me and go, man, somebody called over here about something at y'all. So, one, we got to start looking at that. Like, I remember I saw a petition when folks wanted us to open up sports. And the petition was addressed to the mayor. And it's like, the mayor has no say over that. And so understanding what runs through the county, what runs through the city, what runs through the state. So understanding those kind of things. Then also understanding how to move. And I think that's where we get these disconnects in like our generation. because we have different folks in these generations that say, you know, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that. And we got to have those lines of communication open. Like, you know, if we've done a poor job, I think, as over time, you know, there's individual cases, but a lot of people don't get the mentorship and the knowledge they need to keep moving forward, and so they get jaded. You know, like, I look back and I can think of some of the kids when we was in school that you'll look at and be like, oh, man, they're going to be, and then but they butt their heads because then something happened, and they don't realize that, you know, once you get out in the world, everybody's fighting for the same thing, and they get jaded with that. And then also, just the city is so easy to get involved. But I think what happens a lot of times is that we have a weird thing in the city where, depending on who's doing it or who we think might get credit, people don't participate. So that's like saying, if I'm doing something and, you know, they're like, man, I think that's cool, but I don't want to go over there because then I don't want people to think that he's doing more than I am in the community. Like that, and so then carrying out into, well, I want to run for this office, I want to run for that office, I'm going to run for this office, I'm going to run, and then we end up not building with each other. And I mean, you see it over and over to where we look at local politics as the end all be all, and don't look at how do we build up first to where the local politics is up. And so I think that, like, that's one of the biggest things I wish I could change around here is this whole dynamic where, you know, and I've seen it where groups, you know, is we got a voter registration night. Okay, we got a voter registration night. All right, we got it. And then so we got to build, like, when I say build relationships out, we got to start even building relationships outside of the people we think we know. Like, we have a small city, but our city is still bigger than what we think. Like, you know, like Facebook has what, 5,000 friends. That's like a fraction of the eligible voters in this county. Mm-hmm. And so we never actually see what really goes on out here if we stay in our social media box, if we stay in our neighborhood box. Like when I ran for school board, I was looking around like, man, I didn't even know this was Dayton over here.
Yeah.
It's like they've never been. They're like, you live in West Dayton? Yeah, where? I'm like, right Dunbar. They're like, where is that at? I'm like, them is right outside of downtown. Like, as soon as you cross the bridge, it's right there. They're like, never been over there. Yeah. Like, our city is we so segregated, and so we sit in our boxes, and then we bicker with each other in our boxes. And so it's so open. Like right now with this. That's true. I'm doing a lot of work with this police reform stuff that's going on in the city. It's some good people in there. Like, I want to shout out my man Cornell. Cornell been in these groups, and it's like he's sitting there like, oh, well, I want this recommendation. I want to do this. This is what I want to see changed in policing. And it's like a lot of cities. That's why I love Dayton. In New York, you wouldn't be able to do that. You wouldn't be able to be a regular Joe from a neighborhood and then walk right in and sit on a police reform committee. But Dayton is like we're that small. We're small enough to where you can do that. And so I encourage everybody to just start getting involved in any way. Like, watch a school board meeting. Yeah. Watch a county commission meeting. City commission, like, watch a meeting. See how this stuff goes. See what people do. Because I think we don't do enough of understanding what these roles are. Like, I had people that voted for me for school board. And they was like, oh, man, I don't even know what you do, but I voted for you.
Yeah, for real. Exactly.
So I think we gotta really learn and build, and then we can do everything we want to do. But I think it's that learning, that building, that getting over the egos that we got, and getting involved. Like anybody can just walk right into anybody can walk right into City Hall. Anybody can walk right into Dayton Public School building. Anybody can walk right into the county commission office. Like you just gotta move. And I don't think that was you. Ant was on the calls when we had the kids around the coronavirus stuff. I played on pulled the kids from all over the county on some stuff. Like it's like, how is my man Anthony? It's like it's that easy to really move in and start getting some work done. We just gotta start doing it with a purpose. Yeah,
and what you were saying about civic education, that's the biggest part of it. Because when I was talking to people about when me and Nan Whaley, we had our famous beef a couple months back. But I was telling people I had to go back and tell people like some of the things that I was saying weren't even in Nan Whaley's wheelhouse. We had to talk to Shelley Dickstein, or we had to talk to Richard Beale, or we had to talk to somebody in a higher position than those people, because that's not neither is it their job nor is it within their ability to do. So we expecting things of people that they can't even deliver for us. So if you don't know who to ask, you always gonna be asking the wrong person or guessing.
If you don't know who to ask, you can't hold people accountable because you really can't build nothing yet. Because you
How long ago? 10 minutes.
a couple layers
Did I put that camera there?
behind. And then what happens is too, it creates this aura of, how can I say, you create an aura around yourself as pushing on something, but not knowing where to go.
Right.
And what happens is a lot of people in our history, they're pushed and didn't know where to go, and then they push themselves till they go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I want to see happen to our people. Like, it's a lot of people that was out there fighting with Malcolm and marching with Malcolm and marching with the Black Panthers, and they somewhere turn that on dope right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
For real.
That's real life. Like, when you care so much, it's that fine line between caring and going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, but for sure. But that's why
that's what we got to push right.
Correct. No, I agree with everything Will said, but it's also important why our elected officials need to have a relationship with the community, because that interaction between Ant and Nan could have been more of a conversation than people just butting heads. Think about when we're talking.
Hold on, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. I wasn't beefing with Dan.
You know what I mean? Then all of the Black Panthers around him would have been able to say, "Hey, Bobby, all right, how do we do this? How do we do that? How do we move? How do we, a conversation?" Thank God that Ant was able to resolve his problem that he had with the city through multiple relationships with Will and me and Man. But we should be able to do that daily, right? Like, we should be able to go to our elected officials and say, "Hey, I'm not trying to come up against you. You my brother. You my neighbor. You know what I mean? You was my teacher. You my mom's homegirl. How do we move in this situation? Let me get your advice in this situation instead of it being contentious. Because we're a small enough city where we should be able to build those relationships so that we don't have to have a contentious relationship in order to get what we want or what we need for our people."
And people, just like he said, civic education. Just if we understand who we need to go to for certain things, we won't have ill will and ill feelings towards certain people for nothing. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, you hear people criticizing people and we don't know what their job title even really hold. All we know is they in a position that you ain't in, and that's who everybody else hate, so that's who you hate. And that's not okay, because a lot of things that we wanted from the mayor, actually sitting down sometimes talking to her, actually just being in vicinities where they was at, you could realize that she was doing some of the things that she was supposed to as her job. A lot of the things, you know what I'm saying? And she was inclusive about a lot of things, but that ain't what the people wanted to hear. So, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times you got to learn. We got to just learn the civics of it and learn who we supposed to talk to about what we asking for.
Like how we was talking about Donald Trump being specific to or even Kamala Harris being specific to the people that were in front of them, that were in their face, that were bringing things to them. That we're recognizing, and we keep coming back to this city government and how the city is small enough for us to have that sort of connection. The next step after civil education, after we know who to talk to and what to talk about, we need to hold those people accountable to the point where
you got one more cough.
You
got one more cough.
Man, I was clearing my throat. My drink gone, man. But we got to hold those people accountable, and the things, the issues that are their interests need to be the interests of their constituency. Otherwise, we shouldn't be their constituency. If they don't come to, if they're not campaigning in the interest of our community, then we shouldn't be campaigning for them. We shouldn't be pushing people that aren't going to push the issues that are important to us at any level, but especially on the local level.
Right.
Because that accountability goes.
Sometimes rely on our ignorance. I'm not trying to indict anybody or accuse anybody of anything, but to Ant's point about how sometimes black people vote, they rely on that ignorance, right? I'm gonna give you this same old message. I'm gonna give you one or two things to vote for, or I'm just gonna blast in my face everywhere. David Brennan is a Republican polling judge that none of us know.
Yeah,
exactly.
Never seen him.
That won on the local side because he just plastered his face and his name everywhere, right? In that sense, he was dependent on our ignorance, right? Because we know that I didn't even know what it took me a while to get up on that race so that I made the right decision. But if I made the decision based on just what I saw, I would have voted for David Brandon too. So it is up to us to educate ourselves so we know who we're voting for. And again, it's up to them to build a relationship with their constituency. For me, there's no reason that this next election, whoever's running for city commissioner or county commissioner or whatever, shouldn't holler at y'all. You know what I mean? Like, you're not that busy. This city ain't that big, right? You can't ignore the clubhouse. Like,
no, you definitely can't ignore the clubhouse. Yeah.
It should be not beneficial to do so, right? Because we live in a small enough city that y'all guys have enough reach to influence an election. But we got to demand those things, right? I'm telling y'all now, when the election comes, I need y'all to demand, hey, y'all need to come to the podcast and explain to the people why we should vote for y'all. And on the other side, we got to encourage the people, unless they give you something actionable, unless they give you something that's going to benefit the community, they don't get your vote.
Right.
But we gotta be on that. So, on that note, shout out to y'all for having this platform.
Thank you.
For building this infrastructure.
We appreciate that.
You know what I mean? So that we can start to hold people, elected officials accountable and have some fun too.
And I want to piggyback off of what Will said about the city commission meetings and all that. How do people find out about that? Because I know a lot of times, a lot of people don't have the cable channel, the DPS channel to know about it. And I know I'll hear about it later on about a commission meeting or a day public school meeting. So how can we get the people to know it that might not have it? I haven't even seen it on social media. And that's crazy because I know a lot of the parents, that's where they at right now on social media.
Everybody freeze.
Tuesday and Thursday. Cool. Tuesday at 5:30, and they air it actually on Dayton Public School Facebook page, so you can see it there. Yep. So you can come to the
Repeat that again, Will. You was kind of breaking up.
Alternate. I'm breaking up.
I said repeat that again one more time because you was breaking up a little bit.
Okay. School board meetings is the second and third Tuesday of the month at 5:30. One Tuesday is the review session. The review session is when we go over the things we're going to vote on for the next meeting. So we ask questions about all that. And then the next meeting, the third Tuesday of the month, is our business meeting. And that's when the public can talk. Anybody in the public can come down to a school board meeting and say they 3-minute piece. You can sit there and leave right there.
We can start adding that into
some meeting, say their piece, and then you got like somebody right there to answer your question right there. And so that's why I say, even as a community, and you might have a issue with your child in the school, but you can't come to the meeting. But then Denzel can come down and be like, "Hey, I'm Denzel. I'm in Dayton. It's the issue we having. Let's connect it." You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's how we start existing outside of our own issues. The city commission is every Wednesday. Don't get me wrong. I'll send it over because it's on their website too. If you go to the city website, because one is in the morning. And then the other one is in the evening, so they all rotate.
Okay.
One is the morning meeting, one is the evening meeting. But you can go to the city commission meeting, say your speech, you say what you ever want to say, and then you also are right there. Like, before
Yeah.
the pandemic, now a lot of these meetings are virtual. But when these meetings was in person, I went to a city commission meeting and just told them I needed trash cans in the park because we was going to have an event. And I look up, it's 2 porta potties and 3 trash cans over. You know what I mean? Like, our city is that small to where you can go right down there and be like, hey, I'm seeing somebody come in and say, I want to do an event. And next thing you know, they get $100, $200 from somebody because you're able to be right there. With school boards, you can come right down there and say, I want to do this. Like, and so that's where we can get engaged. And then just spread it. I think spreading the word about those things. Because if you look at a city commission meeting on YouTube, it might have like 20 views. And 10 of those views going to be me and Jared. And 10 of those views going to be somebody else we know. And ain't nobody else watching. Like, people don't really watch and see. Like, and even just learning how the things go, you start seeing, like, man, people vote on all kind of stuff. Like, you vote on, do we want to put a poll here? Or then you start seeing the entity. You start seeing how public works plays. You start seeing how the water department has a role. You start seeing how, the HRC plays a role. Like, all these people like, I can't wait till some of these meetings get in person again because they're there. And then on top of that, the county commission, people don't realize the county commission, they meet. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, I can't tell you what day they meet on here. I just don't know. Now, I know that when I need to know, I can find out. But, I mean, the county who's over our jail. Like, if you get arrested and you go to jail, you're dealing with the county now. You're not dealing with the school, the city. You aren't dealing with nothing with Dayton. You are dealing with the county now. Mental health, addicts, addiction, drugs, and mental health stuff. That's the county. When we talk about area agency on agents for old folks stuff. We talk about
disabilities
and stuff like that.
Right.
It's county funded. So we got to start knowing where are these things at and how do we get our peace. Like, we a black community that deals with mental health issues all the time, and we're not fighting for a cut of this money that comes in for mental health that comes to the county. Like, we crazy for that.
Right.
And I mean, that's where I start saying, like, the community, we got to start moving because it's stuff out here. Like this CARES Act money. Did you see on the news?
They begging.
Dayton and the Tart. They got a coffee and like bakery place over there. I think on Wayne, somewhere like that. They about to build a greenhouse so people can socially distance and be inside. And they building that with CARES Act money because basically they was affected by the pandemic. Like, we have to start being, as a whole, moving like that. And they was on the news like, oh yeah, we got this from the county. CARES Act money.
Yeah.
So they told us to do this. We are not
Right. The only CARES Act money the black people knew about was we'll pay your DP&L, veteran, mortgage, utilities. And a lot of
Hold on,
people...
they said, wait. They said pay what?
Yes.
Come pay I ain't got my mortgage paid yet.
It said, listen, when I took my grandson to the doctor, Dr. Patterson was like, are you affected by the COVID in any way? I'm like, no, I'm okay. He said, well, look, Montgomery County got all this money and ain't nobody utilizing it. I'll start letting people know. Well, I mean, I don't know if I want to. They're going to pay your bill. Use this money or it's going to go back.
Or it's gone, and that's what happens a lot.
Well, I'm going to go down there.
If it doesn't get used, we don't get it next year.
Right. They'll never come back.
Right.
Or it'll be less. It'll be way
But
less.
the thing was, they didn't put any information out about it until now. Oh, you got till
That's
November 13th.
That's the
the
point.
cutoff for your
So they can
for
say-
your rent or your mortgage was October 30th.
They can say they provided the
95% of the
opportunity.
community did not even know about it.
They can say they provided the opportunity. The people didn't utilize it so that they don't got to send
Exactly.
it back. That's all.
But that's the point of having these relationships, bro. Working within the system, I can't tell you how many times that they rolled out some kind of grant or some kind of community benefit. But the problem is they don't have a relationship with y'all. They don't know how to get y'all the information. They don't know how to call and just say, hey, yo, can I come on the clubhouse and promote this program we have real quick? That's why Will is in their eyes, he's the man because he has the relationship with the community. So he can, they can disseminate information because the city knows Will knows the city, right? Like, and that's how we gotta move. But the reason, we don't know about, you have to go to the doctor, sis. and before you was able to get this information.
Correct.
If there was somebody within a Montgomery County administration who had a relationship with you already, they could have been told you. They could have been disseminated that. They could have been said it on that Facebook or Instagram. But what happens is, you know, not to be too critical of anybody, but people work for the county, people work for the city. They move out to, you know, wherever, Springboro, they live in their own bubble, and they go to work, they come home, and they don't really have a relationship with the community. So therefore, when these programs roll out, they don't know how to share with nobody. So that's why I'm super big, and Will is too. We're super big on building relationships with constituency and building relationship with the community and encouraging us to build relationships with those who already hold power.
Yeah, like you gotta. This stuff that I'm gonna be honest, this stuff that it's a weird mix because we are like, let me take for instance, like public health, for instance. This stuff like the other day, you'll see, I think it was at Welcome Stadium or something for mothers, or it was like, you know, for new mothers. They had all kind of stuff for a couple of programs. These programs have not always been able to connect with the places that they need to always connect with, and that's even with having a whole staff. So then, because on top of that, we are not an information sharing culture. Like we just ain't. We're more of a I'll share it with you after it happens to me, or if I have to do it, and it's not even on purpose.
Yeah.
We just are a culture where we have to live our lives, and there's so many other things happening. It's stuff that I have to remind myself, like, oh, damn, that's right. Let me put this out. Let me tell somebody this is going on. Because it's so many things that happen. And so we almost have to start being intentional. And, like, you know, have a day where, like, all right, it's Monday. I need to share something. Or, you know, it's noon. I'm going to take from noon to 2 on every day to try to think of one thing I can share with the community. Because if we don't, you get caught up in your own life. Like things happen. Somebody gets sick. Your car breaks down. You know what I mean? You start a new job. Somebody in the family got something going on. And so you stop being able to see how these things can move. And if you're not in the midst of being able to get that information, then you're going to be out. Because, I mean, it is major resources out here. Like, when I just had a child. And my aunt worked for Premier. She called me and was like, hey, do you need X, Y, Z? And, you know, we was good. You know, God willing, we even though doing this. And when I say sick, man, you're doing great. But, I mean, I understand how bad the struggle is out here. And they're like, oh, no, because, I mean, you need formula, we got diapers, we got wipes, we got this, we got that. And I'm sitting there like, man, it's so many people in our community where that's a big burden off their back.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Right.
Just simple stuff like that.
Give me their phone number. Like that quick. And so that's how we got to be able to, and you know, I sent that word out to some folks, like, hey, you know, it's some help out here. And then on top of that, we are a very prideful culture.
That is a big issue.
Yeah.
Our pride.
Yeah.
And look for help because it makes us feel like we less than. And we got to get past that. Like, everybody can need some help in some kind of way. And so that's the other thing is that we got to figure out how to be like that. You know what I mean? I see a food pantry. You'll ride through Kettering and see a food pantry, and I'm like, oh, no, they ain't got no shame. Why people over here see a shame, go get a little box of food from over here? Like, you know, and so we got to really start sharing this information. Like, our people perish from the lack of information. We got to move on that.
Yes, sir. And you know what? That's how, that's why Denzel was over here writing down the information because we are going to make that our point to make sure that we begin to, you know what I'm saying, advocate for stuff like city board meetings, commission meetings, make sure we put that into the shows because it is important that, like Jared said, we got a platform. So if we also putting that information out there, that's another outlet for people who might not go look in the paper, might not look online for that. You know, so it's there. We just want to make sure that we doing our part too to make sure that people got access to just small information like that because it's important. You know what I'm saying? And it's important that we begin to build those link trees amongst each other and amongst organizations. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we appreciate y'all for even taking the time to really sit down and have this conversation with us because y'all important figures in the community. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, they know Will and we know Will. You They know Jerry. We know Jerry. Me and Jerry, we had to sit in that office together. That that what is that? The police chief or the deputy chief? He knew you. You know what I'm saying? But he knew you. You know what I'm saying? So he already had that rapport. Like you said, that's a relationship. You're able to sit in there and be able to call a person for what it is. Like, nah, this is what it is. This is what I really need from you. And that's the relationships that we got to continue to build. You know what I'm saying? And we just want to be a part of that. And you know what I'm saying? To be a part of that circle. You know what I'm saying? Because we need that. We need to be that platform that, you know, they feel comfortable coming to talk to also, and understand that we're going to, like you said, have some fun, but we're going to ask you some real questions. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Nah, again, bro, that's why I appreciate you, Stephanie, and like we gotta keep this energy up, man. And
most definitely.
We gotta continue to build community and build trust amongst us too. You know what I mean? Like, I can call Will at any given time. You know what I mean? If he do some bullshit on the school, bro, I can call him like, yo, bro, that was some bullshit. You know what I mean? Because we had a relationship to do that. You know what I mean? But for the most part, I don't got to watch the school board meeting, and you just gotta know I got somebody on there that who's gonna allocate for my children. Nigga. So because I know him, because I trust him, I can trust him to do his job. And I mean, that's how it's gotta be. We gotta build that relationship amongst each other.
Right, that's all we gotta do is just keep moving, bro. And then just sharing that information, and then also just find ways to let people be authentically themselves, and then show them how that we can be ourselves inside of the system. And because I mean, we have to be able to move strategically through these systems. And when I say to be authentically themselves, like me, like I'm gonna be me. Like, you know, I don't know. Again, I'm gonna be me. But at the same time, I know how I need to maneuver to get the best out of what I can be, what I can do, and how we move. And so, like with you having a platform, like that's why I like what y'all do. I like that y'all push people's thoughts too. Like we can't always have the same thoughts, man. We can't always think in the same boxes. And so, but we gotta understand that it's okay not to think in those same boxes. We get mad at folks for not being in those same boxes as us, and then we be out here lost. So like, and I think that's how we train up folks. Cause you know, we get out here and like, you know, because we don't have, and since we don't have, we be so ready to settle. Like, you know, like if somebody tell me, well, somebody go, you should run for governor. I'm like, no. We have to understand how the whole system plays. And doing that with ourselves, like we gotta start holding ourselves accountable, man. Like, and really start getting outside of our social media world. And that's why I like this too, because it's a different part of the social media world. It's not just a few lines back and forth. Like, and people notice it. And I've done it with you and Denzel, where I might say something and somebody else hop on and be like, "Oh, what you talking crazy to my brother?" And I'm like, "No, actually, we just having a simple discussion." Right. That's why you gotta have these kind of platforms too. I appreciate it. We just say more and we just really dive in and have the conversation we need to have.
Yes, sir. And we definitely gonna
Before we end this, because Will said something super important. As young black men and women, we gotta be brave and courageous enough to show up to these tables authentically ourselves. To speak of that meeting we had with Keith Wilson of the Sheriff's Department, Ant came in there with some black shorts and a Brooklyn Nets jersey. You know what I mean? I want you to know that if you stop me on the street, you might have made some assumptions about me, right? But you know, but to show up at that table authentically, him was brave. Our generation before us wasn't as bold or inclined to do so, right? But you know, working within the city, it took me a while to get that confidence. Like, nah, bro, I'm wearing my Timbs and my beanie and my jean jacket on casual Fridays. This is how I dress. This is casual to me. You know what I mean? And I'm still the same dude that had on that suit and that tie with the pocket square on Tuesday. But on Fridays, I'm wearing Timbs and jean jackets and beanies.
Yeah, I found that important to do that, bro. Like, I found that important.
And give each other the courage to do so. And we have to do it even when we don't have that support, because we got to do it for the generation that's behind us and stand in the gap for the people who don't make it to the table.
Yeah, because you know what, I actually did that purposely because of the person that Keyshawn was. You know what I'm saying? That they had. I really, and I started that when I was in school. I wanted people to understand that you can't judge a person by what they wear on thinking that that's going to be like that. Oh, that's the stereotype that you put out there. But we all wear these clothes, both white, both black. And just because it's stipulations put on what you should wear to a meeting or not, no, you need to see that I could be just as intelligent as a person sitting in here with a 3-piece suit on. I can have the same information, give you the same knowledge, know the same terminologies that you're speaking on, and still look like the guy that you consider a criminal. So it'd be important that they understand that. And then, you know, like you said, at certain times, of course, I'm going to put on when I need to put on, but at certain times I'll be wanting to make a certain statement like, listen, because I believe a lot of us get overlooked when we dress regular. Like, we shouldn't have to overdress to be considered like humans. Like, we should be able to wear the same thing as, you know, the John Doe that you don't know that's white or Hispanic and they put on their regular clothes. Nobody's looking at them as a criminal because I got on a jersey and some shorts. It's like, oh, he's uneducated. He's probably a problem. That's not okay. That's narratives that I really be wanting to change. Right.
You doing it, bro?
That's awesome.
Y'all got anything else for these good fellas?
I just know I'm going to say this. I'm going to try to be a pillar in my community, and I have been from when I worked at Wright State. I was out here in the community. Whatever y'all need help from me, I'm there. I want to do it. By me just coming back, being back about 4 or 5 years, I really don't know where to go and what to do. That's why I'm asking questions. I'm a product of Dayton Public Schools, but I had issues with Dayton Public Schools to where I took my grandson out of Dayton Public Schools. So now I know I can come and have a voice. I might change some things and look at some things a little different now and see where maybe I can help out and try to let them understand what, by my grandson being autistic, what more can y'all do for him? Because I really want him to stay in Dayton Public Schools, but I couldn't leave him there knowing he wasn't getting what I felt that he needed, or maybe a special area, or instead of them sending him all the way out to Eastwood, why can't we do the same things at Eastwood that we do in the inner city? So I'm glad to know, Will, you are there. I'm glad you gave me the information, so I will start coming down there more, and I will start voicing my opinion and my voice. But whatever you guys need help from me, I'm there.
Let me know sometime, because you just spoke on something that's near and dear to me. My son is autistic, and that's one of the reasons why I fight for our parents. It's so much information that we don't have already out there that, you know, that is supposed to be there. And, you know, those are daily struggles for folks. You know, some of the biggest moments I've had on the school board is, you know, like I bumped into somebody, he told me, he said, man, you know, I'm struggling because my son is autistic, and, you know, and I started running down these lists. Well, are they doing that? Are they doing that? Are they doing this? And he was like, well, nah, you know, I know somebody told me about a possible meeting. And I was able to get him like, no, okay, have this IEP meeting.
Exactly.
You need to have ready. These are some of the things that you can do, and this is law. And then I bumped into him like a couple of months later, and he came up to hug me. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Like the where it was just being able to have somebody in there that can point you in the right direction. And since you know them, you like, oh man, I'm gonna go do this. Bro. And you know, like just some of the things that we don't know. So I mean, that's definitely something. So we definitely gonna have to link up on that.
Yes.
My little guy, he been thriving a lot in DPS.
And mine was at first too, but then when they changed over some things, it just went sour. So, but we'll sit down and talk.
Even like that, like parents who have children that is in the OEC department, we gotta have a whole support group. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yes.
Like those are the kind of things we gotta have to be like, okay, what are they doing in your school? Because believe it or not, inside of every school is different, and so it gotta be like, okay, well, why are they doing this at this school and not doing this at school? And why? And so, and that's because the only recourse we can have is to either suffer in silence sometimes or do what you have to do, because at the end of the day, we got to do what's best for our kids.
Correct.
Exactly.
Until we are all together, we only going to be able to make the decisions that we have the information to.
That's important. You know what? So where you want them to be able to, y'all can go ahead and let them know where they can contact y'all at, you know what I'm saying, or find y'all for information if y'all want to do that. I'm not sure.
Nah, man, just I'm on Facebook. That's my favorite platform, just Jared Grandy. Add me, hit me up, hop in my inbox. I'm here to answer any questions. I'm here to disseminate information. I purposely use my Facebook as a source of information. I purposely receive long pieces because I want to educate my people. So please follow me, Jared Grandy at Facebook.
Man, you know I ain't talking to y'all fools on the net, man. I get Facebook, man. Will Smith, same thing.
Hey, I think we lost Will. But that's Will Smith, y'all. That's Jared Grandy. Make sure y'all hit them up on Facebook, man. Some of the, you know what I'm saying, them are partners. And there's also some good people in the city, in the local area that you guys can contact for good information and everything. They're good, great people. So like we said, man, we thank them for coming on the show. And you know what? We're going to wrap it up. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to DJ Fat B. We ain't had no music today, but we had we had a great conversation. Yeah. And I hope y'all learned something from this conversation and come back. Hey, and Jared, hey, man, go ahead and tell all them people where to come. You know what I'm saying? All them politicians, let them know. Come to the clubhouse, man. They want to talk some realness. They can come on over here.
All day.
Come to the clubhouse. Come get this smoke.
Come get that smoke. It's the Clubhouse Live, the loudest podcast on the planet where we do shit and we never plan it. And we out. Shout out, Jerry. We hit you.
So.
Yes, sir. Woo. Can you, you probably wouldn't know. I got so much stuff pulled up.
Nope. Not me.
I ain't got nothing to
Hold
do
up, this
with
yours? Yeah, this is yours. Like I'm trying to put your pen in my pocket.
Fucking not amigo. We in this motherfucker. Cooler than you. What's up, bro? It's AR. Yeah. I'm screaming, fuck the police, NWA. And nah, I ain't rich, but I'm having my way. A broke nigga always got something to say. But this ice will make his bitch cream all over the cake. Got some dope selling Glock toting young street niggas that'll aim it at your head if you try to beef with us. Food on the table, nigga, you can't eat with us. All you do is run your mouth, I only run with go get it. See, my flow can get stupid. I'm ballin', I'm hooping, they shooting, we looting. It's time for we cruising. They watching, they see us, but they don't believe us. Stop running like cheaters and need more leaders. Get out your feelings, niggas better go run up that sack. I throw it back cause I know I'ma get it back. These niggas mad now, go check my background. AR never been a bitch, ain't never had to back down. Real niggas roll with real niggas in the field. And bitch niggas roll with snitch niggas and get killed. So niggas better chill or get popped like a pill. And we ain't making deals until they free my nigga Bill. Like fuck the police, NWA. And nah, I ain't rich, but I'm having my way. A broke nigga always got something to say. But this ice will make his bitch cream all over the cake. Or it's hard to say your grace with a hole in your face. I kill you in a suit and I ain't catching the case. I'ma take your bitch shopping, have her rocking the cake. Thought a bitch broke nigga had something to say. Yeah, it's right back to business. Ain't leaving no witness. I body the hitless. No hugs and no kisses. Off EXO with bitches. Don't play in my mentions. Don't rock with no snitches. Man, you niggas get tripping. I'm on the run and all these niggas in my way. Stayed in my lane and off the scene, I'm in my A. I'm in the keys under trees, they throwing shade. They set the deck and play their cards that they got played. I set the tone, they follow suit, my niggas shooting. I make it hard for you to move, you this the movement. Ain't running up no money, nigga, what you doing? These niggas pussy, so it's fucking keep it moving, nigga. Fuck the police, NWA. And